Oh my god.
What?
What are those from?
Training.
What kind of training does that to you?
Training with Durant.
It's time for another episode of the Jean-Pod Van Damme Cast. In studio today, it is Jeff and John, your favorite host of the greatest podcast in the universe. That's right. We believe that some crazy alien beings actually gave us that award, and it's absolutely insane.
It's the only explanation that makes sense.
Yep. But hey, man, you cannot argue with the universe.
You can't.
So thank you, crazy aliens. We are in studio today reviewing Kickboxer Vengeance, this 2016 not rated 1 hour and 30-minute action crime drama in which a kickboxer is out to avenge his brother. And if you don't know by now, this is a total remake of Kickboxer, one of our favorite beloved films of the 1980s. And in this one, it actually has a pretty top cast. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I'm
really
surprised.
I'm surprised they got Batista to do it.
Yeah, that's the biggest name in it. Dave Batista, who plays Tong Po. He is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Who would have known that Dave Batista would do so well in Hollywood as a WWE wrestler and not be like in a minor like The Rock's role?
Yeah.
Because everyone loves The Rock, but The Rock's like not the best actor out there, but he has so much damn charisma, and his films are just so enjoyable in the way that it's like, hey, it's The Rock just playing another badass dude.
Yep.
And I mean, well, it's action films, so I can't complain though either, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look at Jumanji. It made more than most
dude.
superhero movies. At
yeah,
this
and
point.
a lot of people like Jumanji, so I mean, man, but this one, there are a lot of names in this, a lot of people, MMA fighters, and it's absolutely crazy. Alain Moussi, and I don't know how you really say his name, played Kurt Sloan. George St. Pierre played Kavi. T.J. Storm played Storm. Matthew Ziff, Bronco. Sam Medina, Crawford. Dave Batista, Tong Po. Sue Lin Ansari, Tong Po, Escort. Why the hell? Is this like order of appearance? Darren Shalavi played Eric Sloan. Rest in peace. He was also in our Pound of Flesh review. Gina Carano played Marcia. Or Marcia, I can't remember.
Was it Marcia? I can't remember now either.
I don't know how they
Shows
say
how
it.
memorable the character was.
Right, yeah. She played, her character was kind of weird in it.
Yeah.
And let's see, Sarah Molecule Lane played Lou. Man, Van Damme is really down on the bottom. This must be an order of appearance. And Van Damme played Master Duran.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't billed under Tong Po Escort, so...
Yeah, man. Yep. Cain Velasquez plays King's Fighter. I'm just naming names that you might know. Fabricio Verdum was in it as well as a fighter. I guess that's good for now. I'm not going to say...
Yeah.
Well, I'll say what you might know with Kurt Sloan and Alain. You might know him in Kickboxer Vengeance and Kickboxer Retaliation. He's a stunt performer, a lot of stunts. He did stunts work for X-Men, Dark Phoenix, Suicide Squad, Warcraft, X-Men Apocalypse, The Black Coat's Daughter, Bitten, basically all stunts, which is kind of surprising. Because, I mean, he has a good face.
Yeah.
He looks good. He's not a terrible actor.
No, I mean, he wasn't, like, noticeably bad.
Yeah. He's basically all these roles, he's stunts.
I guess that's just where he found his niche.
Yeah, man. Oh, wait, let's see. Stunts is his first thing. That's why I'm like, why is he in all these stunts? Oh, wow, they're coming out with another Kickboxer Armageddon.
What? Is this where, like, aliens invade and
I
they
hope
challenge
so.
the greatest fighters of Earth to a kickboxing contest?
I think it's actually a meteor is about to hit Earth, and they train him to become an astronaut, and he has to kick a hole into the center of the asteroid and drop a nuclear bomb into it. Meanwhile, Aerosmith writes a song about it, and it'll be the second number 1 hit.
It's going to be called Don't Want to Kick a Thing.
Got him.
Yep. Brought to you by the Asylum Studios.
Oh, man. Wonderful. He was in the Street Fighter Resurrection 2016 TV miniseries as Charlie Nash. That's where I know him from.
Yeah, that's right.
He played Charlie Nash. Being Human, Bruiser Werewolf, Pompeii. He was a Celtic gladiator. Let's see. Anything else? White House Down, Agent Reed's partner. He got uncredited role there. Well, yeah, that's basically it for him. George St. Pierre, you guys will know him basically from Captain America. Batroc the Leaper. Never Surrender.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew I recognized him from somewhere.
Yeah, he was in Never Surrender as George. And that's kind of it. He's got seven acting credits to his name. Death Warrior, Shaman, Hell's Chain as Stone, and Cartels as Bruno Sinclair. TJ Storm, I'm trying not to name but this guy, he played a weird role in this because he acted like he was Tung Po from the original 80s, the way that he was fighting.
Yeah.
You know, his movement and everything. Oh, he's also in My Grandpa the Assassin. No way.
Wow.
There we go. I can't wait for that one. Boone the Bounty Hunter, that's with Johnny Ace, whatever.
Okay.
John Hennigan,
Mm-hmm.
the WWE superstar. Well, now he's not WWE anymore, but oh man, let's see. Basically, a lot of different stuff, man. I don't know. Just look up his credit. There's too much. A lot of video game movies and stuff. Deadpool, Green Lantern, Miscellaneous Crew, Punisher, Warzone. Do I really have to tell you what Dave Bautista has been in? Do people not know what Dave Bautista has been in?
Have you heard of a little thing called The Man with the Iron Fists?
Yes, exactly.
Didn't they make a sequel to that? That was even worse.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Did they get Nathan Jones to replace Batista or something?
Man, I can't remember. I just remember. All I remember is that it was even in the first one. They had unfinished CGI.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we don't care."
Yep.
I was like, what?
It's just like the Cable and Deadpool commercial.
Yeah. 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 I'm not even gonna tell you what Dave Bautista's in. Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax. That's all you need to know.
Yep. Because that's really noteworthy that he's been
Yeah.
in.
Gina Carano, she was in Deadpool as Angel Dust, Fast and Furious 6 as Riley, Haywire, Mallory Kane. She has a decent little action movie career.
That's weird how such a weird little universe these actors work in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she was in MMA as well. She was a mixed martial artist.
That makes sense.
She was kind of really the first female superstar, I guess you would say. Guys loved her. And there was an awkward little bit with her where one time she was trying to make weight, and I forget what promotion it was, but I'm pretty sure the promotion's not around anymore. And they had to do the towel trick where they put a towel in front of her because she had to get naked to make weight. And the owner's son or whatever, who was old enough, he was an older guy.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't 13 doing this. Totally took a peek of her, and they caught it on camera. And I was like, oh, dude.
What a charmer.
Yep. Serum Molecule Lane, who is the cop in this, Lou, she has a few credits to her name, too.
I'm assuming all Asian films.
No, she's done a lot of really weird, kind of cool grindhousey stuff.
Really?
Yeah, she's in a film called Captured as Sunny. That's coming out this year. She'll be in Kickboxer Retaliation.
Is that a sequel to this?
Kickboxer, yeah, Retaliation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll be reviewing that soon, man. That's going to be coming up. Deathpool as Scarlet.
Deathpool.
Halloween Pussy Trap Kill as Amber Stardust. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table as Morgana. The Domicile as Lucy. Who's Watching Oliver? Sophia. Beyond the Gates, Dahlia. Let's see. What did I see her in? I saw her in, she was in Jurassic City as Mandy.
Is that a sequel to, or a prequel to Jurassic World?
I think so. I think that's Sci-Fi's licensing of Jurassic World, right? Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse is Beth Daniels.
Did you see that?
I didn't. I was meaning to, and
I never meant to.
No, you never meant to?
I guess I was just morbidly curious because it has, Schwarzenegger's kid in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, I heard it was funny. I heard it was goofy.
Yeah, well, with a title like that.
She was in Jailbait as Anna Nix, where she got uncomfortably nude, like,
Yeah.
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, like, I don't know if it was on Netflix or whatnot. I ended up watching it. I thought it was supposed to be based off, like, it is a comic book. Okay, that's what I was going to say. Gabriel Campisi wrote the comic book. And I think that might have fell under, like, when Netflix randomly does these, like, hey, comic book movies or whatever.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I watched it, and I was like, what the hell is this all about? And then I was like, this is creepy.
Yeah?
And so I don't remember too much about it, except for the fact that she's supposed to play, like, I think a 17-year-old or something.
Yeah? Wow.
And it's, yeah.
Is it like Hard Candy kind of creepy? Or...
Yeah, it's, yeah.
You know, most movies I watch that have Jailbait in the title are very different.
Oh, this wasn't very different. She was in Sharktopus as Nicole
Really?
Sands. Yeah. So
I love that movie.
yeah, she does a lot of different, kind of ridiculous
A lot of
stuff.
amazing films.
Yep. And that's enough about that. We're already
2 hours in.
Yep, exactly. So sorry. Once again, what happens? John gets lost in the cast. So we open up in Thailand. There's boats on the river, almost similar to the original. No naked children this time around, and no
no photography
terrible,
of nude children.
Yeah, no terrible shots, edited shots of it looking like he's taking photos. The guy pulls up. They go to some old building. He knocks on the door. George St. Pierre, and I'm going to be calling him GSP throughout this, opens it up. I want to train with Grupo. I have cash. GSP opens the door, takes it, and closes it. He decides to let him in. They immediately start sparring. They fight back and forth. GSP is drunk.
He's holding a beer.
He's holding a beer while he's fighting him. Yeah, that was pretty funny. He beats GSP, then fights another guy that acts like Tong Po Storm from the old Kickboxer. He beats him up. Next up, he and GSP are washing clothes. I should correct myself. Storm beat up Kurt
handily. Yeah.
It
was a good fight scene too.
Yeah, it was a good back and forth,
like,
man.
the movie, it definitely is off to a good start.
Yeah, definitely. So next up we see Kurt and GSP washing clothes. GSP tries stealing his wallet and his money. He takes the money out, puts the money in one pocket, the wallet in the other, and he's like, hey, catches him and tells him, basically put it back. And he's like, oh, and he goes, the money too? And he's like, ah. And he goes, you know what? No, you keep the money. You need it more than me. So now they're all eating. Some guy, it's like, it's Bobby the Brain Heenan in Thailand, basically. He's Tong Po's mouthpiece.
Yeah, he's his hype man.
Yeah, he
was
hype
great.
Man. Yeah, dude, yeah. He's talking about basically how awesome Tong Po is. Batista comes in looking just shredded as all hell.
Yeah, he's got a really weird beard too.
Yeah, yeah. He's got those weird like dreads too, like the top knot dread as well. He's elbowing, kneeing, and kicking a cement pillar, and then he breaks it. And now there's guys fighting in front of Tong Po just for his entertainment, I guess. And he just gets up and leaves. He's like, whatever. Two girls get naked and they follow him to bed.
Presumably to sleep.
Yep, that's it. All of a sudden, Kurt pulls up with a gun pointing at Tong Po, and he's like, you come here to kill me. And he's like, your brother was a warrior, unlike you. You're a coward. And then it flashes back to Venice. His brother's in some ring. Gina Carano comes in, shows up. They start talking. She has an offer to go to Thailand. $200,000 for now, $200,000 when you land there, just to fight Tong Po. The brothers are arguing about going over there, and Eric's like, I'm walking toward the future. He takes off to Thailand. Kurt goes after him. He walks in to find his brother fighting Tong Po, who is just beating the crap out of him. The police show up, and Tong Po, man, I cannot say his name right now. Po snaps his brother's neck. The cops shoot off their guns, and people scatter. Kurt is now with his dead brother, and the scene ends. We end up at the police station where they're talking about taking Poe down. Kurt is with the body. Gina Carano shows up. She's just cold-hearted. He grabs her by the neck. The police break out their telescopic batons and beat him. They say to put him back on a plane, and for whatever reason, they drive him to a temple instead.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I think this is your brother's trainer. And it's this older dude just sitting there, like, kind of doing some training himself. And then Van Damme comes out and goes, you mind? I'm training him. And he's like, hey, this is Eric's brother. And he gives, Van Damme gives Kurt the money because he's like, your brother wanted you to have this in case anything happened to him. Kurt wants to know why Van Damme trained his brother to fight that monster. Van Damme says he just trains people to fight, not tells them who and when to fight. The officer tells Kurt that they need to get him out as he tries to confront Van Damme. They tell him to leave and told him basically, if you come back, you're going to jail. So it looks like he's taken off into the plane, and as soon as everyone leaves, he comes back out. And we're back to the present day. The dude that was going crazy talking about Poe is now telling Kurt about his story, about basically Poe killing dudes that tried to kill his family, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, that was really kind of like whatever. The police grab Sloan and take off. The guy tells another guy to follow them. They are now caught in between cars and an elephant, and we get a sweet fight scene.
Yeah, this, I was like, wow, is this movie going to end up being like, a Muay Thai action flick?
I was going to say, it
'Cause
reminded me,
really
it was like shades of Ong Bak.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Complete with the elephants.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Sloan takes a bunch of dudes out, jumps on some elephants, and has some fun.
The elephants were like super fake too.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
The whole things would shake left and right when he jumped on
them. Yep. Two guys are taking the police officer away, the woman police officer, but she and Sloan take them out easily. They take him back to Van Damme's place to get him patched up. He asks Van Damme to train him to fight Poe. He says he failed Eric. What am I going to do with you? It starts raining, and that means they immediately start sparring.
Yep.
I think that's a rule. That's a law in Thailand. As soon as it starts raining, so everyone fights every day. Van Damme is taking him out easily. Back to Poe. He's doing his own Y Crew prayer. Sloan is being tied up when he's sleeping, and Van Damme hits him in the shins to kill the nerves.
Yeah.
Ow.
Did they really do that?
Yes.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Body conditioning is basically kind of what it's called.
Wow.
I've seen that happen. I've never had someone hit me in the shins with those sticks. The rolling of the shins, which hurts like a motherfucker.
I've seen rolling of the shins before.
That hurts.
Do you want to try it?
We
have these mic stands.
I was gonna. It's basically the same thing, man. I will let you. If you want me to do it to you, I will. It's not gonna feel good.
We'll get back on that. Very special episode.
Yeah, there we
Jeff
go. There we go. There's
hours.
a Patreon exclusive right
Yeah.
there, man. You guys donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/podbros. There, maybe we'll have a tier there where you can see us trying to do the splits and me training Jeff in some Muay Thai.
Yeah, you can. It'll be like a sexy ASMR of me screaming at the top of my lungs.
Woo! Woo!
Heyo!
This is nice. I like that. That was a nice little lead in there, man,
Yeah.
too. And you know what also is nice is when you do your shopping on Amazon and you use our link. That's really nice. Just go to podbros.com, scroll down, hit that Amazon button. Guess what? It's so nice. It doesn't cost you anything, but it gives us a little bit of a kickback. You know what's also nice?
What?
When you listen on your favorite podcatcher and you rate this show 5 stars and leave a review, because that gets you into other Van Damme fans' ears.
That's right. That does sound nice.
All right. We're into a training montage now.
A good one, too.
And a sex montage as well.
That's a thing, too, yeah.
Yeah, they're training.
Training and banging.
Yep. Foreplay going on. We're getting some sex. Yikes, doing some splits on some rafts. He's tired. Let's have a coconut break. And the kids start throwing coconuts at him. Van Damme shows him how to do it, and he's just elbowing coconuts, but the kids knock the dude, Kurt, down.
At this point, you can really tell that the movie is more fast-paced than the original Kickboxer.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Lengthwise, I believe it's shorter, too.
I think so. I think you're right there. This dude is ripped, but so is Van Damme. They both looked good, man.
Oh, yeah.
They both start sparring again. Van Damme is in his trilby while he's doing it. Is this becoming another Van Damme trope? Someone has to wear a trilby in a film?
He has those sort of shaded glasses. I think are just
his actual glasses. He doesn't feel like taking off. Yeah, his one step above Jim Jones sunglasses. Wears them everywhere. He's ready. He takes off his fedora and gives it to Sloan.
The fedora of manhood.
Yep, that's exactly it. They go to a bar. There's 2 dudes fighting. It's Cain Velasquez from the UFC. There was an English guy there who was kind of the leader. He was kind of the promoter of
or
that.
Whatever.
He looked really familiar. I know we've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and I meant to check him in cast, but I forgot, and I already spent way too much time on the cast in this. Van Damme bets 2 rounds, so they start fighting, Kurt and him. If you didn't know much about who Kane was and you saw him in this film, you wouldn't think much of him, but he's actually a really tough dude, and he was a world champion.
Huh.
And here he just looks like a big dude. He's not very muscular, like when you look at him.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, he looks like a big dude. But Kane can whoop some ass, that's for sure. They go crashing through the bar, and Kurt gets his head smashed into a karaoke machine, kind of like a throwback there. Van Damme comes in and just takes out Cain Velasquez like it was nothing.
Yeah, that was great.
We see that the cop wants him to stay away from Poe. GSP shows up to Van Damme's training facility, says he was kicked out, and then he starts fighting Van Damme. And I thought GSP must have been pumped to fight Van Damme in these, because I know he was a big Van Damme fan as a kid. And he's like, Van Damme gets him to admit he's working for Poe, and he's like, Van Damme's like, now you're working for me. And he's like, how am I going to get paid? And Van Damme just shuts him down. He's like, yeah, you are going to do laundry and train. He's like, wah, wah.
And he got him to stop drinking on the spot.
Yeah, he did. That's one way.
Need.
That's all you need, exactly. A little bit of Van Damme there.
A little Van Damage in your life.
There's a hilarious line. I don't know if you know this, but if you're an MMA fan, you probably were laughing a lot at this. Van Damme basically tells Kurt that he was not impressed by his performance, and that's a real line.
Yeah.
GSP said that to Matt Hughes after a fight. Like GSP came into the cage, and he basically, after Matt Hughes won, and I think at that time was champion or was fighting to become champion. My mind's a little blurry at this time. And I can't remember if GSP was number 1 contender or he was champion or vice versa. And he comes in and he just basically shits on him and is like, I am not impressed by your performance.
That's funny.
It was good, man. So yeah, they threw that in there. I like that. We get another training montage. There's some swords, some coconuts, and some GSP. Then we have a situation where Van Damme is teaching Kurt how to get out of a clinch choke.
I'm sure that won't come up in the movie.
No, not at all, right? They stopped the training montage to specifically show you this scene. That's not going to happen. I will tell you this, man. That choke is really hard to get out of if you have a dude who basically is really strong, who like strong forearms. Even if you can get your hand up through his clinch and into his jawline, it's really hard to get out of that.
Okay.
You really feel helpless. I'm not gonna lie. I've been in those situations before with it.
Especially if it's Batista.
Oh yeah, dude. Like that's exactly what I thought. I was just like, I remember, I was practicing something very similar at the time. I was facing up against this, sparring against this like 6'5" dude who's just full muscle.
Yeah.
And this was like his first time ever doing Muay Thai. Like he just came to train in, and usually he was just there to lift weights. Big, like geeky muscle head. It was so weird. Like this is like he was like an anime character or something. It was almost like handsome Squidward face. Really, like it was weird, dude. But he had his glasses on. Big dude, ripped. Like he was just, and he's training with me, and we're just talking. I'm like, "What made you?" He's like, "Oh, I saw it, and I just wanted to try it out." And like, I tell you, for the life of me, man, like we were doing stuff, and I could just do nothing to this dude.
Yeah.
I like was just like, "Well, this is useless for me."
Yeah.
So it almost like it was one of those points where I'm just like, he wasn't like doing anything, and not even let me try, man. It was bad.
No kidding.
And I just wanted to kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like, all right, I can't do anything. Wham! And but I was just like, so this is what it's like to feel hopeless.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So there's my Batista, my own personal.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get him later.
David and Goliath story. That dude never came back. I was kind of bummed. I really wanted to train with him again because, like, that to me, that's what makes you better, right?
Yeah.
You can't try to figure out stuff like that.
It's always in Dragon Ball Z.
Yep, exactly. I ate a senzu bean, and he just never showed up again. All right, next we have him kicking down banana trees, kicking coconuts modeled after Tong Po's head. He goes straight to Po's lair and beats the shit out of a bunch of dudes, and he challenges Tong Po to a fight. And he gets it. It's the dude that mimicked old Tong Po gets his ass kicked. Here comes Fabricio Verdum. He gets his ass kicked. And Po just looks on. Leader of the showman is like, Po accepts your challenge. And the cops know that he's challenged him and it has been accepted because they've been listening in on it. For whatever reason, Carano orders a hit on the female cop, and this dude tries shooting her, but she takes him out. Kurt gets slapped by her now, the female cop. You don't have to do this. And that slap turns into some lovemaking.
Oh, yeah.
Next up at the temple, the cops put Van Damme and Kurt under arrest. He's a fugitive, and Van Damme is harboring a fugitive. And then they're in the jail, and a guard walks by and wonders where Kurt Sloan is. He opens up the jail cell. He's up in the ceiling, comes out, takes him out so that they can escape. And we get a Michelle Kesey cameo here, the guy who played Tung Po in the original, saying, hey, did you forget about me?
Yeah.
And they just run on. I thought that was pretty funny. They're fighting the cops now, and they break through a glass panel of guys walking. We had the old school walking with the glass a pane of glass, and whoop whoop whoop, and then he goes through it.
Yeah, they kick through. There was two.
There's two of them. Yeah, and they both broke them. Yep.
What dicks?
Yeah, man. Now we're at the underground fight. Bets are going on. Carano is watching it over. The leader dude's talking. The first round they were just going to fight. Batista's looking jacked, baby.
Yeah.
They wrap their hands in the hemp rope, and it starts. First round is 8 points of contact, and immediately Kurt is getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
There's at this point, I realized we're only an hour into the film, and there's 30 minutes left. I'm the last 30 minutes is basically the whole fight.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was, the pacing of this movie definitely keeps you entertained the entire time.
Yeah, for real, man.
They realize it's not a plot-heavy film, and it's not what they're focusing on.
Yeah, no. Not at all. Carano looks like she's telling Batista to wrap it up, man. She's kind of giving him the international hand signals, all right, come on, keep going. Yep, that's my favorite from her. The second round is glass, dipping hands in what looks like rock candy.
Yeah, that did not look like
the glass
did
did
not.
It looked
really bad.
That looked
like the original.
Yeah, that one looked bad. He's getting his ass kicked again.
And
Batista just ragdolling him.
This was probably the biggest disappointment of the film for me, compared to the original Kickboxer, which looked horrifically brutal when they had their hands dipped in the glass.
Yeah, in the glass.
Just the lacerations looked horrible. And this, it was just kind of an afterthought.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's cool that it's in the movie at all, but it would have been nice if they put a little more effort into this particular part of the fight.
It really, honestly, you can make sugar glass and break it and make it look like real glass. This seriously looks like rock candy.
Yeah.
This did not look like glass.
It looked like something you'd have in an aquarium or something.
Yeah, yeah. It was almost, it looked like sea glass in a way, because it was blue and white and green.
And there were gigantic chunks. Yeah. And there's only 5 or 6 of them sticking in the rope.
Yeah.
And they didn't stick their hands in glue beforehand.
I know.
So I was like, how's it even staying in there?
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, oh, this is great, guys. Come on.
Good work, props department.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so the second round basically was a continuation of the first round. There wasn't even really a point in having it in 3 rounds.
No, not at all. And it's just when do you stop this? When someone dies or gives up? I don't know. Kurt does get one good shot in on him. The round ends, and Batista's still punching him. The cops show up. Van Damme is still coaching him, telling him to remember he's just like a man, like him. Carano does the throat cut gesture, and she gets placed under arrest, but she isn't worried. Final round, it's double swords. Death is imminent. And if you can't figure it out now, he's just getting his ass kicked again. Yep. Sword's knocked out of his hands, but he ends up flinging one at Batista, nearly kills him. It scrapes past his cheek and goes into the fence, the chain link fence. Poe has Kurt into a choke. Kurt is having flashbacks, breaks out of it, and starts kicking ass. There's that choke right there.
At this point, I was really wow, this is even more one-sided than the original.
Yeah, dude.
He was just beating the fuck out of him the whole time.
Yeah, it really was, man.
Didn't gain any headwind whatsoever.
No, they both go down, and GSP starts chanting White Warrior and Thai, which I forget what it was, but I was laughing.
Yeah.
He gets his second one back and starts whooping ass. Elbows galore. Hits him with a crazy kick. We think it's over. Nope. Batista about to cut his head off with that blade in the fence. Kurt hits him with the glass and then brings his head down on the sword. And he says, "This is for Eric." And he dead.
Yep, he fucking kills him.
Yep, and his death is hilarious because he's just kind of standing there, slumped onto the sword in his neck. It was crazy.
That fight, it had every fight in this movie had excellent choreography.
Yeah, dude.
I really love Muay Thai fight scenes in films.
They me too, man.
So crazy.
I know, I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's partially why I started training in it. I was like, this is badass.
Hell yeah.
And so it was badass. And, now welcome arthritis and whatnot. So.
Yep.
They continue chanting and the scene fades. We're back on a boat and he's with the cop and they're kissing. Van Damme is on the dock dancing. Absolutely love that. GSP has 2 women on each side, like he has a woman on each side of him on the boat too, and it ends. The credits roll. We get the hilarious side by side of young Van Damme and Kurt dancing.
Yes, that was amazing.
And,
that was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, dude, that was a good part. That was hilarious. I wish they had it in the film and not just at the tail end. But that was good. That was good though. That was a nice little homage to him. All the meanwhile, Alana's dancing in the jail, not with women, so that's it, man. That is Kickboxer Vengeance. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10 splits, what would you give this?
I really like this movie. I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I figured it'd just be passable, but I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked Batista in it. I liked all the acting in it. The fight choreography was great, and they kept it very faithful to the original in most ways.
Yeah.
And even improved in the original in areas of pacing. Tong Po was more interesting in this, I felt, than the original. In the original, it was very one-dimensional.
Yeah, man, yeah.
He was just literally evil. He was an evil, murdering rapist.
Yeah, man.
And this
she was good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And Batista, I felt played an excellent Tong Po. I'd probably give it 8.5. I thought it was a very good action flick.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. 8.5 with me as well. I really enjoyed it. IMDb does not agree with us one bit. They have it at 4.9.
Yeah, fuck that.
But I really liked it. And for a remake, dude, totally it was awesome.
Normally I'm not a fan of remakes, but since JCVD was involved.
Yeah, he was involved in it. He played the trainer. I thought he did well too.
Yeah.
He didn't try to steal anything away. He didn't try to steal any scenes, but he had fun.
He still
with
managed
it,
to, though.
Yeah, he still managed to. Yep. I forgot to mention the director of this is John Stockwell. The writers are Dimitri Logothetis and Jim McGrath and others. Once again, there's no slogan, man. There's no
slogan.
Yeah.
Damn.
I figured unless IMDb decided they're getting rid of those, but nothing here for it.
What would you give it?
Oh, geez.
8 points of contact. Sudden death is imminent.
I'm not a po' boy.
How about I'm just a po' boy? I need no sympathy.
Oh, man. Don't get Sloaned. Oh, man.
Sloan your roll.
Yep. All right. Into the trivia here. Ooh, we got a bit of trivia in this.
Hell yeah.
Hey, speaking of Ong Bak, Tony Jaa was set to play Jean Chow, Kurt Sloan's mentor, but had to drop out due to a schedule conflict.
Oh, wow.
He was replaced by Van Damme, who played Kurt Sloan in the original. This was the final film role for Darren Shalavi before his death.
Very sad.
Michelle Kesey, who played Poe in the original, has a small cameo in this film. He's, like I said, he's a fellow prisoner who asked, "You forgot about me," as Sloan and Duran escaped from jail. Scott Adkins was approached to play Eric Sloan, but declined because he felt with a project like this, he wanted to showcase his action skills. The role eventually went to Darren Shalavi.
Wait, I'm confused by that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
this
what
movie had plenty of action.
Yeah, I guess because he would play Eric and not Kurt, he would only get he would get his ass kicked, and that was it.
Yeah,
he would die, and that's a payday, man.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry, but beggars really can't be choosers when you're not in the A list.
Yeah, I agree.
I just but.
Yeah,
if that was the reasoning, if it was conflict, I understand, because he did Hard Target too, which might have been filming at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, but
whatever.
Yeah.
The guy they picked to play his brother looked weird.
Yeah, I know.
That's he had like a giant Cro-Magnon forehead.
Yeah. The way they really didn't set up. Yeah, they didn't set up his hair and his face to really do him well.
No.
And I mean, I don't know what. Like I said in the previous Pound of Flesh, I don't know what he passed away from. I mean, we could look into it a little bit more, but it was they could have made him look a little bit better than the way that they portrayed him. Because I mean, he doesn't look that bad in any of the other films.
No,
it's
strange. Oh well, maybe it just been the lighting because it was like overhead.
That's true
lighting,
too.
Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah. There were numerous sequels to the original Kickboxer, none of which Van Damme appeared in. Sacha Mitchell starred in 3 sequels, and Mark Dacascos appeared in 1. Okay, so that answers our question right there. That was off air that we talked about that. Hong Kong filmmaker Stephen Fung was to have made his Hollywood directorial debut. However, he left production the weekend before shooting was to begin. He was replaced by John Stockwell. 2 French Canadians are in the movie, former kickboxing champ Alain Moussi and former UFC champ Georges St. Pierre. Okay, well, I did not know Alain was a kickboxing champ.
Me either.
There we go. Van Damme and Alain played characters in both video game-based movies and web series Street Fighter and Street Fighter Resurrection. Van Damme played Guile in the movie, while Moussi played his lost friend, who was presumed dead in the video game version, Charlie Nash in the series. Second collaboration between Gina Carano and director John Stockwell. The first was In the Blood, 2014. Carano and Batista previously appeared together in Heist.
Huh.
And who knows, maybe with this new agreement between Fox and Marvel might appear together somehow in some way in Avengers.
Hell yeah.
This film features 3 actors that have appeared in a Marvel Comics movie. Speaking of, I did not read this beforehand. The first one being Gina Carano as Angel Dust in Deadpool. Second is Dave Bautista as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. And third one, Georges St. Pierre as Batroc in Captain America the Winter Soldier.
How wild is that?
Yep. Carano and Paul Walker starred together in Fast and Furious 6. Paul Walker starred in Into the Blue, which was also directed by John Stockwell. That was the last bit of trivia on that one. Quotes. This movie had more quotes than this. I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
There's only 2 quotes here. Master Duran. Coconut! Joseph King. Joking by name, joking by nature. Oh, man. I don't even remember Joe King in this, but
He was the British...
was that the dude with Cain
the fight
Velasquez?
promoter, yeah.
Nice. All right, and that's it. That wraps that up, man. Up next, and this is honestly, this is kind of getting it. Let's get serious for a moment
nitty
here.
of the gritty.
Up next is Kill 'Em All, 2017. Van Damme plays Philip in that.
Philip Van Damme?
Yeah.
Philippe.
After that, right now, by the time this all comes out, Kickboxer Retaliation will actually be coming out. So I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah.
The way things are set up on IMDb right now is We Die Young 2018, where he plays Daniel, but the status says it's in post-production. So I haven't heard anything new about that, except when Van Damme came out and said this was one of the films that will be coming out in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is The Bouncer, which they are filming right now. And I don't know why these films are in the list, making it look like, they're going to come out before Kickboxer Retaliation and Blackwater.
Huh.
He plays Lucas in The Bouncer, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that. They'll probably get moved around with IMDb after some time. After that is Kickboxer Retaliation. He reprises his role. And then we have Blackwater as Wheeler. And I believe Blackwater is either going to be out soon as well. And it says in theaters April 2018, United Arab Emirates. Last time I checked, it was supposed to be in theaters in February 2018.
Okay.
So that got pushed back.
So it's going to be in theaters in the United Arab Emirates?
Apparently that's it.
Not here?
Yeah. Well, I'm not too surprised. I think what isn't it the UAE? They finally started showing films again.
Yeah.
And the Emoji Movie was the one that opened up over there.
Those poor bastards.
I know you got the Emoji Movie. Oh man. So that's it. That's this episode of Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. Man, it's crazy. It's we're actually getting to that point where it's gonna be it's okay. It's not over soon, but in regards to just his filmography, it's over. So We're gonna be starting to look into other things, and we've already said this. We've said it in the past. And we'll get into this more once we reach probably Kickboxer Retaliation, because at that time, unless Blackwater ends up coming out on demand right when we get to Retaliation, then we'll tell you guys a little bit what's going to be happening next. So Sean Pod Van Damme Cast is not going away.
Hell no.
We are still going to be fighting. So okay. I am John.
And I'm Jeff.
And you have been listening to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. Where's Tung Po? I want Tung Po!
That's good. How do you feel?
You're crazy.
I'm crazy. One more time.